Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. I'm Cher. It is time at the end of the month here for our monthly palette rankings video. This is where I like to take all of the palettes that I have used for the month and attempt to rank them by what are my favorites to wear and whatnot. This has been an interesting month though. I'm still recovering from surgery, so my palette slowed down just a little bit. I'm kind of feeling up to sitting up for a little bit to film. I'm getting there. I'm about a week out here. So hopefully I can start getting back to normal fairly soon, but you guys are really helping get me through with filming. So anyway, I'm still going to share my palette rankings and we're going to talk about everything that I have worn and why I ranked each one like I did. So if that interests you, stick around and we'll hop right on in. All right, guys, and welcome. I'm Cher. If you're new here, I like to cover a lot of fun beauty topics. I do a lot of beauty boxes here, and I've recently been doing a lot of mystery boxes. And so if those things are your vibe, you'll want to stick around here. I do the spoilers, the unboxings, the try-ons, and the reviews for a lot of the popular beauty boxes and mystery boxes, and also latest release makeup and eyeshadow palettes. And there have been quite a few this month that I tried out. So we'll be having a lot of fun sharing those with you and ranking them. Now, I have gotten quite a few Natasha Denona recently in this month. So I already have a video out there ranking my Natasha Denona palettes. So you'll see a little repeat there. But I also had a couple of Jeffree Star mystery boxes I did, a couple of Colourpop mystery boxes I did, some beauty subscription boxes, you know, Ipsy, my normal one. So we have a lot to get through. I think I counted 22 palettes for the month, if that's correct, which is still a good bit for having had surgery a week ago. So, but the way that I rank them is based on my personal preference. Sometimes my rankings change each month and one that's at the top of the list falls to the bottom the next month. It's just kind of where I'm at per month, like what I'm feeling in the mood for. I've definitely been feeling the summer makeup, but I definitely lean towards definitely more of a soft glow, soft glam kind of girl. So I definitely love like a lot of pinks, soft glam looks. That's kind of my babies. So that'll explain my style just a little bit, and why sometimes my rankings change, but I try to explain to you my thought process. And just because some of these are at the bottom of the rankings doesn't mean they're necessarily bad. It's just kind of relative to the other palettes that I'm sharing. All right, so let's kick it off. We are going to start at the very bottom in number 22, and that is this Lorella Lucky palette. Now, okay, so my friend Mela sent me this because it came in the Slay Beauty box, which she subscribes to, and I've kind of gotten a little bit of the extra boxes and PR through her and Slay. And this came late. It was supposed to, I think, be in March around St. Patty's Day. Very appropriate for St. Patty's Day. But because it came late, it was kind of like, we're not really feeling like a pot of gold in, what are we, in June? Right? All right, she may have given it to me last month, like in May, and I just hadn't tried it yet. So we're kind of just past that. You know, we're past St. Patty's. But this was my first time trying Lorella. I am not gonna lie, I was not super impressed. I'll put, you know, my look in here. I was of course drawn to that like pressed pigment there, and you know, because I'm always drawn to the shimmers and the major glitter and stuff, so that drew me in, intrigued me. But I didn't like how this went on. It did not blend at all. It just kind of sat there as like specks on the eyes, and yeah, I wasn't impressed with the formula at all, or super inspired with the look. So that one came in dead last. I don't know. I haven't tried any other Lorella palettes, so I guess I don't know if if the formula in general, if I'm gonna like it, or if that's just for this palette, but wasn't feeling it. Next, we have this one that you've been seeing every month, the Colourpop. It's a little quad. It's down to earth. The reason that I use it every month is for my eyeliner. I use this more as my eyeliner instead of like a liquid liner a lot of times. Just is easier to work with for me to do an eyeshadow. And this is just so handy and portable. So once again, you see this every month for that, because it has the perfect like darker shades in here. I can either do brown or black. I think I have it on today as my wing. So I use this all the time because it's so handy and portable. It fits right in my little stand on my table so that I can reach for it easily, and it's great for travel because it's so small. And so that's what it works for me. So it's just coming in at the end just because even though it's very useful and practical, it's just not exciting compared to all the colorful, you know, eyeshadow palettes and others that we have going on. Okay, coming in at, what is this, number 20? This latest Il Makiage quad that we got in Ipsy. This one was the shade range, The Real Deal. And it's just a little bit more on the rose tinted side, like a little cranberry, but more like brownie cranberry. You know, I've always ranked the Il Makiage really high. I have a couple of the other quads. I don't know, maybe it's just getting redundant to me now, but I'm not as fond of these more rosier shades. I really like the neutral one the best, the neutral ones. This one was a little more rose tinted, and I don't know, I just kind of felt blah in it. I wasn't feeling that, whatever. I still love the Il Makiage formula. So again, this is not a bad eyeshadow palette by any means. It's just ranking a little further behind the others. Next, we have the CoverGirl Clean palette. What was this one? This was in the shades Cool Berry, which it doesn't make the most like berry. It's kind of more of this it is a cool toned, like taupey, maybe almost mauve-y color. I really, really like this. Even though it's coming in low on my rankings, it's just because we're starting to get into the stuff that started to really excite me, and they all excite me from here on, guys. So this just fell behind them, but I still really like it. I actually wore it because I had considered that I might declutter it in my next eyeshadow declutter video, which, by the way, be looking for that. I'm definitely in desperate need already for another eyeshadow palette declutter. So I will be bringing yet another one to you, even though I just did one. But anyway, I was going to try it out to see, do I want to declutter this one? And I decided no, because I still really love the look that it makes. And I love that it's clean. And I love that it's your perfect like quad, easy for, you know, travel, simple, but I like this color story that it makes. It's not your standard like neutral. It's more of a cool toned neutral, you know, so I really do like it. All right, now we're starting to get into our Colourpop some more. So as I shared, I did do both a Colourpop mystery palette bundle that Mela had sent me so kindly. Mela sends me a lot of stuff, you guys will notice. And then I went back for a Colourpop mystery box, and now I can't remember which was in which, but this was one of our palettes, Baby Got Peach. So I've gotten a lot of 9 pans this month from Colourpop, by the way. So you're going to see a lot of Colourpop here. So this is the Baby Got Peach, and I ended up really enjoying it. I wore this on our little beach trip. This is what I took with me for my girls' trip. And it made a fun peachy shade range. Of course, that color right there is everything. And it was really fun, but it is almost a little too pressed pigment, I'd say. Like this, I love the look that it gave with it, but I would save it for a fun party look rather than just being at the beach, I think. But of course I wanted to play with that part. So definitely really enjoyed it. Out of all the ones I've tried so far on the Colourpop, these new Colourpop ones though, this one probably was falling more towards the bottom. Okay, and then the next one is this Miss Bliss. Now, if you watched my mystery box unboxing, I was so in love with this palette when I swatched it. Like the swatches on this were just so beautiful. It had those like candy pinks and lilacs and just, oh my gosh, it was so, so, so pretty on the swatches. So I couldn't wait to try this one out. But honestly, going on the eyes, it wasn't as gorgeous as I had anticipated. I mean, it was still pretty, but the blend and like going on and the colors together weren't quite what I had envisioned, but it just looked so pretty on the swatches. So I might need to play with it a little bit more and see. I mean, I still really liked it. It just, I might not have been as excited about it on the try on as I was in the swatches. Next is this Be Bella Shades of Roses. I've gotten in the past. I think it came in a Slay Beauty box also, and I've really come to love this Be Bella brand. I don't remember why I wore this month, but I think maybe I was just matching like an outfit I had where I was kind of red and burgundy or something, and I think I pulled off a little bit of burgundy with a little touch of gold in there, and it made a really, really pretty look. I still love this palette so much. I'm not always as fond of how I look in like burgundies, so I don't know, it kind of fell in the middle for me, but it's still such a fabulous, fabulous palette and formula. Okay, next is another Il Makiage quad. This one is the more neutrals one that I talked about, or like on the brown side. I think I wore this maybe when I did worked a wedding. It's like what I wear as my kind of posh, everyday, you know, easy, quick look, but that's still very like posh feeling. And so I still really love this one. This is my favorite one of all the Il Makiage quads that I have. It is the Workaholic, is the 991 is the shade range. Now this is going to surprise you guys because y'all probably know by now I am a Natasha Denona lover, and you should know by now I love pink. But this is still falling kind of in the middle, guys. I don't know what it is. This is the new Mini Crush palette. We got this in the Trend Mood box recently that I picked up, and I was so excited about it with all this pink. I think it's just, there's only like maybe 2 looks I can make with it. They're either going to be like the burgundy side or with that pink shimmer. The pink shimmer, of course, is everything. And I love it. I just don't always wear like a bright pink shimmer. Like I'm probably more on the softer pinks side. So it's like, I still love it. I'm not saying I don't love it. I do love it. And I love my Natasha Denona everything. It's just compared to a lot of the other palettes above it, it kind of fell towards the middle here. So yeah, I don't know. Next, we've got the iconic London Beachside Babe palette. And this is always just such a great one for summer. We got this in Ipsy a while back, and I think I wanted like a green poppin' fun summery look with like a green shirt I had maybe or something. And it always just makes these fun, bright colors. So I've really definitely enjoyed this palette. It's such a fun, colorful summer one. Okay, next we have the Four Seasons palette. This was a collab with Rasha B Cosmetics and Subscription Sisters, Sydney from Subscription Sisters, and it came in the Slay Beauty box, and Rasha's over the Slay Beauty box. I ended up making like more of the blues out of this time because I had a blue shirt on or something. And I still had not really played with the blues yet from it, so I wanted to play with it, and oh my gosh, was it so pigmented and popping and amazing. Wonderful palette. I just don't have it ranked quite as high because it's colors. They're not my everyday colors. Even though I love the pinks, it's not my everyday pinks, and these blues are definitely not my everyday. Like none of these colors are going to be my everyday palettes, but they're great for like seasons. You know what I mean? So anyway, I love this palette. I think it's a fabulous palette. Just might not be my everyday color story. Right, coming in at number 11 is what I have on my eyes right now. That is this one, the Lilac You a Lot from Colourpop. This is the one that my pressed pigment broke in it. So it came from the mystery box, but this was my favorite palette in the mystery box, and it broke. I have put in a request with Colourpop to get it replaced because it came shattered. I mean, it shattered right on camera for you guys. And they've gotten back to me. They wanted to see a picture of it, so I've just submitted the picture of it shattered, so I'm waiting to hear back. So hopefully they're going to replace it. But I went ahead and played with it today, even though it's shattered. And I even have on that pressed pigment a little bit that I could get out of it that's all shattered. And I gotta say, I love it so much. Might not be matching my shirt so well today, but I love this palette. So I hope so much that it's going to get replaced. And okay guys, I was not expecting to love this one so much. Next at number 10 is the Colourpop Main Squeeze. Let me tell you, I'm not always big into wearing these kind of colors. They're very warm, reds and oranges, a little yellow. It's definitely very summery. You know, it's juicy fruits. It's screaming like a package of gum, like juicy fruit gum, right? But man, when I played with it on my eyes, I fell in love with it. I loved how this one looked on me. And I don't usually love burgundies on me that much, but holy wowzers. The pigment was so good, the blend was so good, and just, I don't know, something about it, it really made my eyes pop, and I ended up loving this thing. And this ended up being my favorite one, even above the lilac, which I was so shocked about. Very shocked. But yeah, so I think that's number 10. I take that back because actually my favorite one from the Colourpop ones I've gotten recently is this Wild Child one. So this is number 9. I forgot about this one. It's a lot of the browns and stuff, but I loved how it looked too. Like, I just felt like the blend going on with these pressed pigments and shimmers in it made it so pretty. It was just this rich, chocolatey golden deliciousness on my eyes. And even though it's like kind of a louder, partier look with the glitter, it's still a little more wearable for me, like goes with more things, I guess, that I wear, and loved how it looked on me. And I just, yeah, so I really, really, really liked this one. So this was definitely the favorite, I guess, of all those Colourpop ones I've gotten this month. There's still a couple of Colourpop ones I have not tried though. I just hadn't gotten to it. I probably would have gotten to it by now if it hadn't been for surgery. So I might just be having to play with those next month. So I'll keep you posted. I was actually probably planning on bringing you guys maybe a Colourpop ranking video too, because I have quite a bit of Colourpop in my collection now. So be looking for that video as well. All right, we're getting down to the palettes where it's so hard to decide. These are like all favorites, amazing palettes. This one continues to be a favorite. This is Dominique Cosmetics, the Essentials palette. I think we got it in Icon Box in Ipsy, and it's still just so beautiful. It can be very subtle. It's not a super ultra pigmented palette, but I just love the soft look of this. It makes a beautiful, very soft glam, but also very everyday wear. Did a couple of looks this month. I was trying to use more on this side now because I always gravitate more to this side because I love these colors here, those mauve colors, but I think I did go more with this one this time. And then one day I just did a very quick look with these two colors, just matte, very simple. But yeah, it just continues to be a favorite. I love the packaging on this. It's just very luxe looking to me, and the color story is just so pretty in my opinion. Next, we have the tried and true Urban Decay Naked 3 palette. As always, I love this thing. I love how the smokies look on me. Gives it like this subtle color of blue, but then I also love the more like lavendery and pinks. It's just, it stays a pretty favorite palette too. And so I think I wore it, just was in the mood, you know, and still love it. I guess, what is this, number 8 maybe? Something like that. All right, now we're getting down to all of these new palettes I've gotten from either Natasha Denona or Jeffree Star. And this was just where it's been so hard to decide. But I think my next one, what is this, 7, something like that. This is the Glam palette from Natasha Denona. I picked it up on the Memorial Day sale she had. I am now a Natasha Denona affiliate, so I want to take advantage of that too, which, by the way, I'll put my code for you if you ever want to shop. I think you get 15% off on her site using my code, something like that. But anyway, the Glam one, I haven't played with it much. As I said in my Natasha Denona rankings video, I was able to just kind of make like smoky type looking looks. And I was just really, I've been wanting it for a while because I'm loving like the grungy vibes of it and have been kind of feeling that, even though I think it's probably more appropriate for like fall and winter. But yeah, I want to play with this a little bit more, but it's very much up there. I was so happy to have it. Right now we've got some Jeffree Star, the Bloodlust palette. Look at this packaging, y'all. Oh my gosh. Like, I would rank this number 1 based on packaging, but I consider the whole palette. I really struggled on which Jeffree Star palette, because this one looks so gorgeous. It's the one I'm the most drawn to. I mean, look at those like purples and pinks. Are they not to just die for? But in playing with it, you know, I was like, it's certainly makes beautiful, stunning, purpley, pinky looks and all. The packaging is just out of this world. But as far as like my wearability and the looks that I create with it all, you know, probably not as wearable for me, or not as common of what I'm gonna wear every day. But for like an artistic palette, like, oh, just unbelievably unreal. Like, Oh, love this. Then the next one though, that ranked just slightly higher, and I was going back and forth on which one was gonna rank higher or not, is the Blood Sugar palette. And I wasn't sure at first because it's got a lot of warms and everything, but man, when I was playing with it, it just performed so beautifully. I just felt like, I mean, I made a lot more wearable looks. Like, I feel like I could do more of my soft glam that I tend to do with this palette. Like, I felt like it's actually more versatile for me, which I would not have thought in looking at it, because it looks more like reds and, you know, very warm. But going on in an application, I feel like it's so much more wearable than it looks. And so I just ended up loving this palette. All right, guys, so now we are up in the top 3, and they are all Natasha Denona. It's a spoiler alert. So, and if you've already seen my Natasha Denona rankings video, they're gonna probably fall in line with about the same as in that video. So you're not gonna be too surprised. But I have absolutely fallen in love with the Retro Glam palette. And this is another one I picked up on the Memorial Day sale. Not my typical colors, but I have come to just adore this palette. Like, I love these soft, like Retro Glam, I think is the perfect name for it. Such soft colors that you can make. And I haven't even gotten to play with it as much as I want. I've just made a few looks, but I love it. And I love how I look in it. Like, I actually wasn't expecting these to look good on me either. Like, they're not just typically my colors, but wow, I have fallen so in love with it. And that leads us to the number 2 and number 1 place. And if you saw my Natasha Denona rankings video, you'll know I struggled on which place these went into. So number 2 is the I Need a Nude still. This is like one of my all-time favorite palettes. So pretty. I love the champagne looks, and so wearable, both for everyday and for party, and elegant, like, you know, bridal, I guess, even though it's a little more peachy leaning to me, but very like peach schnapps party looks, you know. I have loved this palette, and it just, you know, and it goes with everything. So this still ranks so high for me. But what came in higher in number 1 was the brand new Golden palette. And I do have a full, you know, video and review out there recently where I just reviewed this palette and did my first impressions. And I think why it's number 1 for me, for both Natasha Denona and overall for the month, is how wearable and versatile it is for me. It makes so many nice neutrals looks. You know, we were thinking it was going to be more of a golden palette by the name of it, where it was more golds and browns, but there's actually quite a bit of neutral leaning colors in here where you can make just beautiful neutral looks. But then in addition to that, you've got that stunning pop of gold that is just so gorgeous. Like, oh, so even though I don't feel like this is a great release for summer, it's just an ultimate palette I feel like I can work with so well. So yeah, so number 1 is the Golden palette for the month. Yep. I don't know, did you guys guess it? Let me know your thoughts if you guessed it from the start or not. But yeah, that's everything, guys. So 22 palettes this month. Make sure that you stick around, because I do this every month where we rank, you know, whatever I have used for the month. I keep track of it, and I love to, you know, include all the looks and stuff I've done with them too, to give you ideas. But be watching, because I'll bring you an eyeshadow palette declutter soon, as well as a couple more rankings video for just particular brands. I think I might do a Jeffree Star one, but definitely a Colourpop one, because I've got a lot of Colourpop now. So yeah, be looking for those. And if you just enjoy, you know, the eyeshadow palette reviews, I try to grab a lot of these. I'm definitely a Natasha Denona girl. I'm a Jeffree Star girl. I've got a couple of these brands that I like to kind of collect, so when they come out, I definitely hop on them and grab them and bring you a review. So if all of that stuff is your vibe, you'll want to stick around, pop that subscribe, turn the notification bells to on so you don't miss more in the future, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.